शेयर स्क्रीन है ना, शेयर स्क्रीन के बाजू में एक राउंड रिकॉर्ड करके है।
मैंने देखो चालू किया, आपके स्क्रीन पे आ रहा है क्या रिकॉर्डिंग?
हाँ हाँ आ रहा है सर,
आ रहा है, सबका आएगा सर।
हाँ सर, इसको स्टॉप कर दो अभी।
रिकॉर्डिंग चालू हो गया सर, रिकॉर्डिंग कॉर्नर में दिखेगा।
And then all the inflammatory phase starts. So your main role of an antiviral drug would be during this viremic phase, and I would advocate this only for people who are having comorbid conditions, I think, as of now. And because you'll see that we have seen so many of the healthcare workers who are below 50 years of 45 years of age, they just have fever for 1 or 2 days and they're just getting better on their own. So I think that role of antiviral will not be for them, but it will be definitely for people who have comorbid conditions who progress to the next stage. That is the stage, this is stage 1, this is stage 2A, and this is stage 2B, and this is stage 3. So during the stage 2, from stage 1, I think majority of because 85% of the people would get better, 15% of the people would go into stage 2, stage 2B, and 5% would go into stage 3. During the stage 2A phase, the fever will be persisting in a lot of fever patients. And if you do a CT scan here, possibly, the patients are not desaturating, but you will see a CT scan showing a lot of peripheral ground glass, that crazy pattern, PAVI pattern, what is seen, you will see in this stage. But the patients are not hypoxemic. But if you see the CBC will be normal, and they will have some amount of lymphopenia, your CRP would be high. And this is a stage possibly where definitely a role of hydroxychloroquine as an immunomodulator. We don't have any drugs, but I think we rely on hydroxychloroquine plus minus azithromycin or lopinavir ritonavir as of now. Maybe this lopinavir ritonavir should be replaced with favipiravir, which once comes into the market. But what I would advocate, this drug should be coming in the stage 1 and not stage 2. Because stage 2A is already not non-viremic phase, because the viremia is not there and all the inflammatory phase has started. So here, possibly the role of anti-inflammatories would come into the picture. And what is more important is the neutrophil lymphocyte ratio. What has been observed is when the patients have a neutrophil lymphocyte ratio more than 3.13, okay, that is especially in people who are more than 50 or 55 years of age. And if your neutrophil lymphocyte ratio is more than 3.13, then these are the patients, usually they land up in the intensive care unit. Many times you'll see a CPC report, 6,400 WBC count. You'll see neutrophils at 92% and lymphocytes at 6 or 8%. I think this is the people who behave badly if they are COVID positive. So this is very, very important here. The majority of the people who have a neutrophil lymphocyte ratio more than 3.13, and if the age is more than 50, they are the people who behave badly. After stage 2A, those same people who have X-ray showing a pneumonic patch or CT scan showing a peripheral consolidation, they are the people who will progress further to get hypoxia. I think this phase of 2A, 2B is very, very important, because this is the time where your anti-inflammatories would come into the play. And possibly when the patient starts getting hypoxemic, that is when the saturation starts dropping below 95%, or if the patient complains of breathlessness on exertion, what you can do is, sometimes patients may have a saturation of 95, 96, and they may complain of breathlessness. What is important is just make them 1 minute walk test, and you will see the saturation. If they drop by more than 5% of the baseline, it would suggest that these patients are, that the inflammatory phases start. And here, possibly the role of your steroids come into the play. So there is no recommendation, there is no guideline which says that steroid should be given at this stage. But we have found that anti-inflammatories at this stage 2B, when the patient starts getting hypoxemic, I think Solumedrol 40 milligram BD for a short duration, not for a longer duration, just for 3 to 5 days, definitely helps. Also, I think more and more has been talking about the role of anticoagulation. I think we should be starting at least a low molecular weight heparin, 40 to 60 milligram, 1 milligram per kg as a maintenance dose. And if your D-dimer, you should be doing a D-dimer. If your D-dimer is more than 3, then you require a therapeutic dose of low molecular weight heparin. What we have seen in Leelavati and Global is that majority of the patients who come in 2B stage or CT scan showing florid shadows and slightly hypoxemic, we straight away give them 40 milligram of Solumedrol plus, if your D-dimer is high, then therapeutic dose of low molecular Clexane. Or if the D-dimer is normal, then we give maintenance, that is just a prophylactic dose of Clexane. But again, I'm saying there is no, this is not a guideline or recommendation, but we have found very good results with this. Because the whole idea, we should understand what is the pathophysiology of these people who develop 2A, 2B. It's all inflammatory here. And once this patient crosses this, if they do not receive this treatment, they go into possibly the stage 3, that is the cytokine storm. And this is the patient, this is where patients behave badly, and many of them land up in ventilator. So I think what is important, if your patient is becoming hypoxic, what is important is you should be doing is, at least you should be doing is a ferritin, a D-dimer, a LDH, C-reactive protein, and interleukin 6. I think IL-6, if it is more than 100 to 150, your D-dimer more than 3, your CRP more than 100 to 150, and if these patients are not responding to steroid or your low molecular heparin, and the saturation is further worsening, I think these are the people possibly would require the role of tocilizumab, that is the anti-interleukin 6 inhibitor comes into the play. And I think these are, and tocilizumab is an anti-cytokine drug which inhibits the interleukin 6 inhibitor. It's the IL-6 inhibitor drug. And possibly that role would come if your steroids or your low molecular heparin would not work here. So I think that comes the role of here. Other treatments, what are available is your interferon beta, which we have no experience. I think convalescent plasma in Maharashtra, just a couple of cases here and there. We don't have much of experience about this. So I think what is important is doing an IL-6, D-dimer, LDH, ferritin, and CRP would be very, very important. Look at the CBC, the neutrophil lymphocyte ratio, which will tell you the severity of the case. And also, I think this 2A, 2B stage, the time window period, which is most important to identify when these patients would not do badly. Now, coming to the patients who are, I think Dr. Ratnaparke told me, how do you deal with who are asymptomatic and positive? So these are usually asymptomatic and positive, usually are either household contacts, or we will see healthcare workers who are, the sisters or the staff nurses who stay in the hostel, So one of the staff nurses comes positive. They have breakfast together, lunch together. They have gossips in the night. And I think one staff nurse who has been in contact with multiple people for more than 15 minutes and less than 1 meter distance would quantify that they are close contacts. And similarly, household contacts would also come into close contact. The treatment here if they're asymptomatic, I think there's no treatment. You just have to observe, and possibly you can do a swab for a healthcare worker, maybe do a swab at day 7, day 8, or just observe for 10 days, 14 days. If they're completely asymptomatic, they should be free to go out. I think for healthcare workers, this should be relaxed to day 7 so that they can, because we are having deficiency, we are having less and less healthcare workers getting affected. Now, this is what I was trying to talk to, is the viral phase. It dies down by day 8, day 10, and now the host immune response comes. And this is the stage where possibly the patient starts getting hypoxic, where a role of steroids would come. I think again and again, I'm telling you that it is not a recommendation, it is not a guideline, it is individual clinical judgment that what you should be using. Now, the infectious period, how long the person is contagious, usually patients who are asymptomatic are usually contagious to around 10 to 14 days. People who have mild or moderate symptoms are contagious up to day 14 to day 20. And people who land up on ventilators are contagious to till day 28. Another thing which I forgot to tell you is try to avoid ventilation as much as possible in these patients, because these people, the best is try to give nasal flow oxygen, then try to give your venti mask, then you try to give HFNC, the high flow nasal cannula, or NIV, and finally if they are not maintaining saturation, rising PCO2, getting fatigue, getting altered sensorium, only then intubate. What was the difference between the H1N1 and the COVID-19 is COVID-19 lungs are compliant. That only problem is oxygenation. They are not difficult to ventilate, whereas H1N1, it was oxygenation plus difficult to ventilate. They were stiff lungs, whereas here the lungs are not, the compliance is very good. They require very less PEEP. I think our infectious friends in the upper group will be knowing much more than what I'm talking, because I'm an ID physician. So I think this is all from my side. And let me just see here one more slide which talks about when you're about your test, that IgM starts coming positive only from day 7. So there's no point in doing an antibody test before day 7, and only it peaks at day 14. So 100% of the people who have COVID positive would get their IgM positive by day 14. I think that's all from my side. Anything, I'll be happy to answer any questions, and I think because of time factor, I'll stop my this thing.
Yes. Thank you very much, Vasant sir, for that excellent review in a very short span of time, and you have covered everything. So I urge you to stay tuned to this CME, because there are a lot of questions which will be directed to you. I have got some questions already, so we will take you once our presentations are over. We will do that. Praveen, has
So have I
Dr.
stopped sharing this? Have I
Yeah.
stopped sharing my?
Yes, you are done already.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Dr. Hari Shetty has joined. Dr. Hari Shetty sir has joined.
तो सर दिख नहीं रहे वो.
Find it. I think he's not. I message him. I think we can go with a question answer right now with Vasant, and then we can go for a Rajbhat Brahmbhat says.
Okay.
Sir, Sir, I think the Harish Bhatt sir has joined.
Harish Shetty. We're trying to him actually, but
No,
I think we
sir,
can
no.
go with the Vasant's question answer session here only. And
Okay, so we will go with little 2-3 quick question to Dr. Vasant sir, and then probably we'll move forward. So Vasant sir, one of the important question which is coming up, again and again, there is no, this NLR marker is very important. In lot of cases, what we are seeing nowadays in our small nursing homes are so-called COVID suspect also and other things. We are seeing a lot of thrombocytopenia, lymphopenia, and bit of drop in hemoglobin. So that picture is coming up very much in our clinical scenario. Last 7, 8, 10 days, whatever COVID I have seen, a lot of other, my colleague will also agree to that. They are seeing a lot of thrombocytopenia, not very too much of thrombocytopenia, but 1.2, 1.1 lakh kind of a thing. And this is very typical. So every patient who comes to nursing home, COVID suspect, and looking at everything, so what is the rationale, and how do you thromboprophylax this patient? Because thromboprophylax is very important once patient goes into ICU. But what about patients who are COVID suspect but looking little bad and everything? Your take on that?
Yeah, so I agree with you, Kapil, on this, that majority of the patients do have borderline low platelets, but they are always above 1 lakh. So we are not seeing patients with really bad platelet count. So I think anybody who's having more than 50 to 75,000 platelets, they should safely can go ahead with the low molecular heparin. Second comes is, many of the people, if you see in the beginning, they will not have lymphocytes. They will have 30%, 35% lymphocytes. But as the disease progresses, you'll see that 30 decreasing to 20 and 18 and 15 and 10. So by day 7, if your there is lymphopenia severe, these are the people who would behave badly. And the third point, what you said, is low hemoglobin, low WBC, and low platelet. I think we should just keep a watch on HLH. But again, we are not seeing really much of HLH. What we have seen is more of, cytokine storms. We have seen more of thrombosis. That is, they benefit with this low molecular heparin. So I don't think we should, if your platelet count is above 80,000 above, you can safely go and do the anticoagulation. And rarely we have found low platelets.
Okay. Another question is, one of the marker what lot of people are talking abroad and maybe somewhere is NAT ratio. What is your take on this NAT ratio, which is neutrophil by CD8 ratio? That is coming up. A lot of people say if the ratio is more than 21, then you are going towards that bad cytokine storm and something like that. Is it that relevant in?
So Kapil, yeah, I have come across these papers, but I have no clinical and practical experience about this CD8 because we have not been doing this. But maybe the way forward to look at it. But I don't have an answer for this. It's more of theoretical discussion.
And sir, how many patients, like in Lilavati or Global, once they go on ventilator, what is the mortality rate? What you see, and how many people survive after giving tocilizumab? Also, that is something which we want to know.
So I'll tell you, we have around 80 patients at Global because I'm more closely following that institute. So we had 80 patients. We have 35 discharges which have happened. We have around 5 or 6 mortalities which have happened in these people. Out of the 5 or 6 mortalities, 2 of them had given DNR because of the age factor, they were above 80. And one lady was 120 kg, 44 years old.
Harish, we are all waiting for you.
Obstructive.
ये 4 बजे का था, चालू कर दिया है, आपके लिए वेट कर रहे हैं, जरा लॉगिन कर लेना, मैं तेरे को मैसेज किया हूं वापस. हां नहीं 4 to 5 था, मैं तेरे को मैसेज भी, उसमें वो मैसेज भी डाला हूं.
प्रवीण सर को एक मिनट म्यूट करना.
वेटिंग फॉर यू ओनली. थैंक यू.
हां, yeah, Vasant sir, carry on, please.
Thanks. So this lady had an obstructive sleep apnea syndrome. So that was the clinical outcome of the patient. Now your next question is, what about tocilizumab? So we have of late been using tocilizumab, but we have been having only 50% of the patients we could get better. And this we have seen more in Kasturba, because I'm also looking after Kasturba. So I think there we had around 7 or 8 patients, and 4 of them did well and 4 of them did not do well. But I think very important, Kapil, what I want to say is the timing of the tocilizumab is very, very important. It has to be timed in that 2B phase, and not, wait, and when the patient is already on the ventilator, severely hypoxemic, when the cytokine storm is already occurred, and where your IL-6 levels are more than 1000, 2000, there's no point in, it doesn't work that. What is most important is the timing when the oxygen starts going higher, when your steroids and Clexane is not working. I think that is the timing. The timing is very important of giving tocilizumab. The patient should also have fever, because cytokine storm is always associated with fever. So fever with high IL-6 would be the timing for giving tocilizumab. And I think Nair, just before this meeting, we had a meeting with the DHS, and out of the 38 patients they gave, the 35 patients are, they're saying that they're done well. In Sion also, they are given around 15 patients. They have said that 13 patients have done well. In KEM, out of 15 patients, 10 patients have done well. So I think the timing is very, very important of tocilizumab to be given. So I would say it is a good drug, but timing very, very important.
Another one of the, there is one trial going on in AIIMS and as well as in Jaipur and other center also about this Sepsivac, Mycobacterium W. It is also supposed to be immunomodulator, and it converts TH2 response to TH1 response. So any experience of this Sepsivac, Mycobacterium W?
No, Kapil.
We have not tried it actually.
Okay. Any other questions, sir?
Yeah. Your dose of steroid, you told only 40 milligram. Is it the higher dose has any?
Then I am said that methylprednisolone would be around 40 to 60 milligram BD for 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
So we should not be giving 125 and 250 milligram of Solumedrol, because that will cause more of sepsis. I think steroids should be careful about monitoring the sugars, looking for infections and all that. But I think the initial 5 to 6 days, the secondary bacterial infections, because majority of the patients are coming from home, so it is less likely to be infective and more inflammatory. And the dose would be around 40 to 60 milligrams, OD or BD. But it is again individualized and depending on your clinical judgment.
Okay. There is another one, lot of, how is your experience?
Harish is logging in us, just.
Yeah. How is, sir, Vasant sir, how is your experience about, patient presenting with, so respiratory is the commonest symptom, what we see, and, 40-50%, but a lot of atypical
Harish,
so in your Leelavati and global, whatever cohort, is myocardial infarction very common, is stroke is very common, or is any other very typical symptom which we can see clinically, maybe patient coming to OPD, because once lockdown opens up, you will see a flurry of cases. So what are the other 2-3 very important non-respiratory symptoms which we need to look out? Maybe anosmia, parageusia, whatever.
Yeah. So I think your question is very relevant, Kapil. Yes, you already said there's a loss of smell, loss of taste, severe loss of appetite is one complaint, loose motions, abdominal pain. But what I want to tell you is that all patients, whatever we have found now, all patients who come with stroke, I think until then, unless proven, as of now, we should test for COVID. All patients who come to you with acute myocardial infarction, we have found that almost every stroke who comes with, even with a bleed, is COVID positive. So I do not know that. And even acute myocardial infarction, majority of the patients, the hospital, the ICUs get shut down because nobody was initially knowing that, acute myocardial infarction will be associated with COVID. So I think until and unless proven, it is always to be suspect of COVID. That is 2. And third thing is that many of the patients would develop, land up with acute renal failure. So I think the other organs which are affected with COVID is kidney, brain, and the heart, because of the ACE and the ERB receptors being there. I think these are 3 other organs which are. So many patients who would come to you with a very, very high creatinine, and you should be suspecting COVID in these people.
Yeah. One last question before we move on. So everyone is asking till what time it is going to last. What about herd immunity? How we go to move forward? So your take on that.
There are some questions. I think Kapil has come from the audience. I think we just.
Yeah. So Kapil, I think the virus is there to stay here, and I think the WHO always said that it's going to be endemic. But I think the way to go forward is possibly this viral will mutate more and more, and hopefully the virulence of the virus would come down over a period of 4 to 8 weeks. But this virus is there to stay, just like an H1N1, how it is remaining. It keeps coming, surging intermittently. But the virulence of that possibly will gradually come down, and hopefully, if we get a vaccine early, things will settle down for all of us.
Vasant, how many times you get secondary infections in these people, and how do you manage them?
I think the majority of people who gets infections are the people who are on tocilizumab, because tocilizumab is an anti-interleukin 6 inhibitor, but it is very, very prone for bacterial and fungal infections. So many of these people would develop gram-negative sepsis, and we have seen many of the patients developing, though not resistant, but sensitive strains of E. coli, Klebsiella coming into the bloodstream. Because I think we are using less and less cholesterol and Zevicefta and all phospho and all that. I think we are seeing more of sensitive strains coming. But yes, a gram-negative sepsis is seen. Another organism which is commonly seen is Staph aureus. But what we have seen is more of gram-negatives than gram-positives in these people. But the number I would say would be less than 10% of the total number of cases what we have seen.
And what percentage go into renal failure around actually?
So renal failure, there are people present with renal failure, and only once the patients go into cytokine storm, I think there are two ways of presentation. One is they present with acute renal failure itself, but the number is not very large. And second is once they develop cytokine storm, they develop hypotension and then multiple inotropes and then because of the renal flow, and then they go into renal shutdown.
So I think we will move forward, and I wish if Dr. Vasant Nagvekar is still staying with us, we can have a lot of questions at the end of on all the two sessions. So I think Dr. Harish Shetty has joined.
Yes, Harish has joined.
I'll see back.
Yeah.
I'll see back.
Yeah. Is Dr. Harish Shetty is there, sir?
So one sec, I'll just check.
He was logging in actually just one.
So
he spoke to me just now.
Okay. Praveen, can you see him?
No, sir, no.
So we started the number, sir.
Okay. So I think so then we can have second talk. Brahma, but sir, are we good to go?
No problem.
Okay. So let me invite our second speaker, Dr. Brahmabhat sir, Rajshekhar Brahmabhat sir, and let me have his introduction also in a very brief. He was very kind enough to accept our invitation on a very short
notice.
So thank you, sir, for that, and welcome to Andheri Parlour Physician Association. Sir has been, emeritus founder, trustee, and vice president of CSCPI. He has got multiple awards, with CSCPI India. He's been editor to Therapy of Common Sexual Problems. He has got Lifetime Achievement Awards from Golden Lamp Award and Kriplani Awards and all other things. He has been put up an exhibition on several World Congress on Sexology in India. And the most important thing is he has conducted so numerous workshops across, I think across the globe. What I suppose or what I've heard is about India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and whatnot. So it has been honor and privilege to have you, sir, on this board. And the topic what was actually chosen by all of us, and in fact he was ready to go in one say, that is exercise is the best exercise. So the name itself is very catchy, and I hope we'll catch some more few tips from Dr. Brahmabhat during this session. So over to you, sir, for your deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kapil. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and
good evening.
Yes, audible.
Good evening to all of you. And as you very rightly said, that it was a very, very short notice. Thursday night, I was about to complete my consultation and other things, and I saw a missed call. None other than Ratnaparki. I'm sure that he is there somewhere. So Dr. Ratnaparki, he just talked to me, Raj, sex, Raj. I was surprised at what has happened to him. I said, wait for a minute. And within 30 seconds, he was fine. He said, I was on a treadmill and doing an exercise. So he said, I want you to talk. And I said, wonderful. I said, when? He says, on this Sunday. And the next question I asked, how many minutes? He says, only 10 minutes. Kapil is nice enough. He said 15 minutes. And Kapil, when 12 minutes are over, just tell me that 12 minutes are over and wind up. Otherwise, on the topic of sex, I'll go on speaking for days together.
No, I'll inform you, sir.
So please inform me.
Yeah.
And let me tell Ratnaparki that this 10 minutes is much less a time or even a foreplay. So my first message to all of you that the foreplay is the most important part in the exercise. And how the word exercise has come. Yes, exercise is the best exercise. I remember about 20 years back, I was talking in Malad Kandivali somewhere, and one of my own classmates from whom I had learned, Dr. Harish Merchant. At the end of the talk, he says, "Sir, can you tell me how many calories are burned in a single sex act?" And I knew he must have an answer. So I said, "You tell me." So he said around 250 to 300 calories are burned. And I was very happy. I said, from tomorrow onwards, instead of doing the morning running, I will advise everybody to have exercise. And that's how the word exercise has come. And I've taken further to it as per the treatment of sexual therapy is concerned. Masters and Johnson's therapy, which is known as a sensate focus or a talk therapy or touch therapy, I have put an Indian module and which is known as sex therapy. So after saying this, we heard Dr. Vasant and we see that sometimes there is no light at the end of the tunnel. But I am going to give you very, very positive thoughts. And you can see that at home also why I have wear this color clothes and other thing. I want to pass a message that whatever may be the trouble, but हम हर फिक्र को धुएं में उड़ाते चले. That's how one remain till the end of the day. He remained ever young, and I think we will go to do. I'll just describe in 2 minutes. The first stage was and I'm sure all of you wanted to stock at that moment. यहाँ पर भाजी मिलते हैं, यहाँ बिस्किट मिलता है, यहाँ पर जाके जाएंगे तो आपको गेहूं मिलेगा, चावल मिलेगा. Second part was adjusting to the office work and school work when the children's school was going on. And the third one was, let me tell you, we are from the land of Kama Sutra. And Vatsayan, he has written that the most important thing, three things in the life is one is ahar, means the diet, food. After that, nindra, sleep. And the last one is a method. But last but not the least. And that is what I have come to tell you over here. If I say my 40 years of experience, I have never seen the type of cases which I am seeing right now in this COVID period. Believe me, there is a 30% of increase into the sexual problems. I have been getting the phone call right from Singapore to Dubai and all across the India. What I have been seeing 40 years back cases and what I'm seeing right now are entirely different. Previously, there was misconception, size of penis, masturbation, Dhat syndrome, chronic, size of breast, HIV/AIDS come. So all those things were there. Maybe erectile dysfunction, and at the most premature ejaculation or shikrapasan, which was as common, the common cold. What I'm seeing nowadays is an entirely different. See, previously the couples who were not at home, they were working. All the time they were running after deadlines. One has gone to the Delhi, another has just come back from Calcutta, and they had hardly time enjoy with each other and be with each other as per the sex is concerned. It was just not a natural flow, but it was becoming most artificial thing in their life. Now both of them are locked. Both of them are locked in the house only. Now when they are locked in the house, naturally there cannot be any excuses that I'm tired, I cannot do. And there the problem comes. The problem is which I was not seeing like the desire phase problem. People say we have no desire. Number one. Then they say we do not get an erection. And thanks to Google Guru, people rather than consulting any doctor, they just go to Google. And that comes out more than 20% of the cases which might come. They already come, they have read in Google lot, and they come and say that we have got an erectile dysfunction. Premature ejaculation, all of you know, is very common. But at the same time, newer things which are coming up. Living relationship. Then they were having twosome, threesome. And the addicted to the porn. And the most important is unconsummation of marriage. And there are a lot of divorces, and when they come to the second time of the marriage, they are not able to perform. So this is the picture if I see from the first phase, and what I say, is exercise is the most important. And why? Why sex is so important? Sex First of all, it will take away your stress and tension, and I'm sure Harish will talk about it. Secondly, it liberates, things like prostaglandin and endorphin like things. So one feels very good. It increases the self-esteem. With all these things, there is much more, good immune response, and they are much better. They get a good sleep. And the most important part is the intimacy between these two, which is a very, very important, and the cuddling hormones are being increased. So I say sex becomes a very important part, and do not miss this golden opportunity of the life. And Dr. Raj has not come to say that sex only means intercourse, talking to you little later on. So as I have said, that recently I was conducting a workshop at Pune, and I was lucky. It was the 29th of February and 1st of March. 1.5 day workshop I was conducting. There were 44 postgraduate students and 6 teachers from 8 medical colleges. And to my surprise, I conducted 18 hours marathon workshop, and what I found, that one question which is missing. You may be a diabetologist, cardiologist, you may be from respiratory expert, whoever it is. The people, the doctors, because we have not been taught this subject in the school and colleges, so medical schools. So that's why you feel afraid to ask this question. There are scientific studies have been shown that more than 37% of the doctors, they do not want to talk about sex, because after that they don't know what to do. And today, let me tell you, we are in the era of P6, our what do you call the Viagra era, and in that area, PDE5 inhibitor era, we are very well equipped with the medicine. So any one of you can treat these cases without any problem. What you need to do after taking the history, when you are taking, ask them how is your sleep, how is your appetite, whether you have a clean motion or not, how many cups of tea, coffee you are taking, alcohol or beer in any form. If the girl is there, ask them that how is your period. If the man is there, how is your sex life? And ask them, are you having any stress? And you'll be surprised that they will open up an Pandora box. And the cases which I have been seeing right now, I cannot say one way that these are the types of cases. What I'm seeing, that lot many young people, secondly, young people who are going out of the house, young people who were already in the relationship, young people who were in the courtship period. After that comes up the people who are married and they are struggling to have a baby and having unconsummation marriage. Also the people who are of the middle age and the more than 40 plus, and what is happening to them, they have already completed their reproductive area, but the problem with that, they are having lot many comorbidities. My friend has already described right now: diabetes mellitus, cardiac diseases, lipid problems, metabolic syndrome, smoking problems. All those things are there. And that creates much more problem to these people. So what is important, that how do you deal with them? If a young person comes to you, what you have to do to the young person? Tell them that big no to any unknown person, sex with any unknown person. As Vasant has already explained to you, 6 feet distance and keeping a hygiene. That means no kissing, no touching, no sort of a embracing or alingan vagara. And these are the very, very important thing which you have to tell young people. And I tell you, in my area, there was a young boy who went out for a party and he met a girl. And what happened with that? He came down with the positive symptoms and created a problem in the whole area. Secondly, as I said, those who are in the courtship period and engaged and they are here in Bombay, the girl was away and she was being locked down in the area of our juice scheme. And both of them tried to enjoy the sex. And what happens? They failed miserably. Tell me how many times on the first time when you took a cycle or you took a computer or you took a new phone and you were able to do it. This is the book which I had done with the therapy of common sexual problem, and I had written a special chapter on it. First night failures. This is not written in any Western words. And today virginity is no issue, and they want to.
हरीश आ गया ना, तो हो गया ना? हाँ हो गया ना लॉगिन?
So when they
नहीं
want
क्वेश्चन आंसर रहेगा. You just tell some experiences 5-10 minutes and then we will have a questions.
Praveen,
Okay.
mute, sir. Huh.
So
Go
I'm
ahead.
not getting you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
So what is happening to these people? That these are the major problem. Come down to the people who are in the middle age and who wants a baby. Now there are reports which has been shown that it can come, if they are positive, then it can come into the semen. So this is a big question what to do about those for old age, diabetes, heart problem. They have to be very, very careful. And young people, when they are at home, they are locked to the computer, and what is happening is they are getting porn addict day by day. And many of them at night, when they are having a nightfall, with that they develop lot of fungal infection. So these are the things which you must remember when you are dealing with a people, and there cannot be one answer to all the things. Now I suppose I have 5 more minutes, huh, Kapil?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 5 moments.
So let me say in the end that I have not come here to give you any negative thoughts. After the heart attack, the first question, or after the paralytic attack, the first question which people ask, when can I have sex? And I tell you, no physician is in a position to talk. If a person can, ECG has come to a normal level, person can walk up to 20 minutes, 1 mile, or he can climb the 2 flags within 10 seconds. In those cases, you can allow them to have a sex, but not a competitive sex. And sex is a very, very important, as I told you, in the life, and it is one of the most important required. There are 3 things which are required for the sex. One is a reproduction, second is a recreation, and third is a relationship. So that is much more important even for an aged couple. There is no expiry date to the age. And let me tell you, 82 years and 75 years, to her and try to ask her how we met first time. And not only that, remember our old movies. The most important 4 or 5 points which I want to give you is touch, talk, togetherness, trust. And if you can develop this, I think you can, this is a time for you to rejuvenate your sex life, rekindle your life, and to understand that how innovative ways you can have a sex. Lastly, it takes back me to the golden era of Raj Kapoor and Nargis, one of the most romantic scene which you have seen in Sri 420. Both of them fully clothed in the rain they are going, or pyar hua, ikrar hua. So romanticism which has lost, it's a spice of a sex life. So I think that everybody should try to. And what they say, hum na rahenge, tum na rahenge, fir bhi rahegi nisaniyan. Second picture is Mughal Azam. Salim and Anarkali. They are in that one night together when she becomes a queen. He is having a feather in the hand. There are fruits, there are sherbets, there's a music in the background, colorful songs are going on, and he is touching with the feather. So that sensuality is more important, not the sexuality. The third part is, if you see, the recently I saw a movie, and accidentally I saw, because I don't get a time to see, but it was, I suppose, if I say correctly, it was a London, Paris, and New York. The way in which they have shown the passion of these two. So the most important part, one is a romanticism, one is a sensuality, one is a passion. And last but not the least, you should not forget, thank your partner. Try to tell her that how beautiful or how nice. She needs a compliment every day. And that's why you can go on saying kabhi kabhi and go on talking. We are in a lockdown condition, and lockdown. We are in the period of corona, and corona. Let me tell you last word. Today morning, somehow Rishi came to know that I'm going to talk to all of you. So he called me up. Didn't understand? Rishi Kapoor. He called me up from heaven. He said, I have said in 1973, हम तुम एक कमरे में बंद हो और चाबी खो जाए. I think that is one thing you must remember, that don't worry about a lockdown. This is the best period of life. Best period to find out okay, what are your basket list and what you want to do in the life. This is the period for introspection. Enjoy every moment with your family. Be together in the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Talk to each other. Give whatever things what you have. And I think I would say sex does not mean intercourse. Sex means many other things. What I have come to tell you is about the sexuality. And lastly, you need not get attached to pornographic material. Ask your partner, wife, to put a rasgulla in her mouth and talk. Corona, 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 corona means please do it, please do it, please do it, like a Bengali girl. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was excellent as usual, and thank you very much for accepting our invitation and
To be
taking
honest with you, it was a quickie.
and
On a sex, it was just a foreplay, as I said, that I can go on talking and talking. It's a wonderful thing. There cannot be more beautiful thing than sex. And I'm sure today, everybody who goes home, they will remember and they will thank me tomorrow morning for giving a very positive message.
I hope and I wish everyone follows you. But excellent talk, and it was actually very much integrated in very, I should say, very exotic kind of thing. So and I welcome Dr. Ratnaparki sir. He has joined. So sir is another chairperson for this program and is the president of Andheri Parla Physician Association. So sir, I welcome you. And I think Dr. Harish Shetty sir has been already.
Thank you.
And Brahma Bhatt sir, stay till the end because we'll have some questions for you.
Because after play is more important than
Yes,
the
there will be
foreplay and the act. You understood, Kapil?
I
So don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll be there till the end, till I reach an orgasm. Don't worry.
I do. So I'll ask Dr. Ratnaparki sir to actually introduce Dr. Harish Shetty sir, and then he can take it from there. Ratnaparki sir.
It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Harish Shetty, who does not require any introduction. At least Andheri Parla Medical Association, at least Mumbaikar, Maharashtrian, at least Indian. Okay, even everybody knows Harish. Harish Shetty ji, you are doing a very great job. Morning I heard with you, with Shashank and other lady. Great job. Okay, and you are building the confidence of all Indians, all Mumbaikars. So keep your blessings on us, and the mic is yours, sir. You can take over, Dr. Harish Shetty, sir.
Sir, you have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you now, sir. Please.
Audible?
Yeah.
Am I clear?
Yeah, very clear.
Congratulations, my friends, for meeting on an afternoon when Dr. Brahma Bhatt has said you have to do actually Baporia. But you have left your Baporia and you're meeting in the afternoon. Good to see that Appa is still active. Appa me Gappa is still continuing for a very long time. I would like to ask you guys, how many of you are practicing? And that I think is the most.
I think we have lost Dr. Just a minute. Huh?
Kapil, I think he will get back him actually. He is still on the screen.
Yeah.
Just lost him.
Harish sir, can you hear me? Harish sir. Just a minute.
Kapil.
Yes, sir.
Till that time, you can take some questions to Dr. Vasant or to Dr. Brahma Bhatt, sir.
Yeah. Brahma Bhatt sir, we can have some questions. Sir, sir, you have to unmute yourself, Brahma Bhatt sir. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So the very important questions which comes up, a lot of people are trying to ask, maybe our relatives also, a lot of peer colleagues and everyone is there. How, because, a lot of time, this lockdown has make more people more merrier also, but it has developed some kind of, some strain also. So a lot of people are feared about these sexual relationships, and a lot of people talked about, some are taking positively, negatively. So the mindset is, I think, very important, and somehow we are just getting a lot of patients who are actually feared of getting into sexual act. So what is your take on that?
So you are absolutely right. First of all, as you said, the sex is not between two legs, I say. It is between 2 ears and the mind. And people have not been, as I said, that they have not been used to stay together. If I say, if I and my wife has to talk, when we go in the car from my place to my clinic, it takes 7 minutes. That's the time sometimes we have a time to talk. Most of the time, Saturday, Sunday, I'm out. So likewise, many people have this problem that they do not want to see, and particularly the space is small. So they come upon each other and they start getting, the first is on a small thing, they become angry. So first thing you have to learn, 4 things is good sleep, good yoga, good exercise, and try to understand and communicate with each other. Now, what is happening with this couple is that they have not been having a regular sex. And suppose they feel that now, particularly aged couple, nobody knows about the refractory period. If they have a sex today, may not be able to have sex till next week. And the wife feels that I'm just lying next to him and he's doing nothing. So something, whether he's interested somewhere else. Now, this is a time, as the aging is there, they require much more local stimulation of the organ, which the female partner is not ready to do. And second, if one of the person is going out even for taking to the grocery or fruits or vegetable, there is always a fear of asymptomatic carrier. And if the person are learned, this is much more. Third, I was talking to a friend in Nagpur. In his home, he is working, his wife is a doctor, she is working out, his daughter is working, and son is working. He says, how can we have all of us together? And it creates a lot of verbal abuses, physical abuses, and even right now I am dealing with one case. They were working together in one of the insurance company. They are at home. They were having a sex problem, and now they both are continuously fighting. And I'm sure that if it is not been resolved, then they may end up into the divorce. So you are very right that this is a situation. What you have to do, be calm. And let me tell you, one thing is certain, that there's a lot of uncertainty in our life right now. Today, what I say, it can be a fact, but there is no truth. Within half an hour, the whole thing may change, and this is not over here or the world. So I think we need to, as I said, understand and thank the God for giving us such a beautiful opportunity. See, imagine your courtship day. You were dying, you were waiting. Those days we were not having a mobile phone. I remember me and my wife, we were waiting in a waiting room for three hours sometimes, that when I come back from the ward. Now those were the days. Today to they say with the mobile, where are you? And you say, I'm in temple, so jara ganti bajao to. This is what is happening. So I think you are very right that it comes out, and there is a fear that what can happen as per the sex is concerned. That's why I gave an idea. Sit together, take down the old, albums, try to talk to each other. And the best part, I can tell you an exercise which I tell my patient and client, we don't use the word patient word, that tell each other what are the good points and why they accepted each other. And when they say, then they realize that what little fight which was going on was just क्योंकि जब प्यार की पहली निशानी झगड़ा होता है, I suppose. Any other question?
Dr. Brahma Bhatt and Dr. Vasant, both. See, the day before yesterday, I got a call from a 36-year young gentleman. He had fever 20 days back. And yesterday morning, he has read in the WhatsApp that the virus remains in the sputum or saliva for 25 days. Maybe wrong, I don't know, but that message he got. So he was so afraid whether to touch wife or whether to do sex or whether to kiss or not. So this is our 20th day of fever. It lasted for 1 hour, 2 days only. May not be COVID, may not be maybe COVID. We don't know. It is just mild fever of 1 day. 20 days back, yesterday he has read in the message in the WhatsApp that virus remains in the sputum or in saliva for 25 days. So he called me, sir, what is the status? Whether we should have sexual relations or whether we should kiss or not. What is your answer? Both Vasant also can answer.
So first Vasant sir and then Dr. Brahmabhat sir.
Okay, done.
Right.
Yeah, so I think the virus, normally the viral load, even if he was COVID-19, forget about he has any other viral. Consider this was a COVID-19 fever only, and the fever is subsided. Normally, as in my talk,
20 days back.
20 days back, correct. So the virus normally is not being cultured after 8 to 10 days in the whatever studies have shown. And why the PCR keeps coming positive in a lot of people, and the PCRs have been coming positive even till day 28 and 57. But nobody has an answer right as of now whether this PCRs which come positive is really because of the virus, or it is because of the viral containment, small particle. It could be a dead virus which is giving a false positive report of the virus. But yes, coming to this gentleman's question, whether how good am I at day 21, day 22, if it was COVID, to go ahead with my wife with a personal touch. I think the best answer would be here, possibly to convince him, would be to get his COVID-19 test. Then if it's negative, tell him to go ahead, because nobody has an answer. And tomorrow you tell him that, okay, go ahead, and if then test comes positive, then possibly he would sue us. So even I don't have a right answer to this, but I would say he's so much worried, then might as well he just go and do a COVID
test and then
Vasant, but for normal people, they don't do the COVID test nowadays.
In this special situation, they'll get it then.
Only this is a special, if somebody is having
special situation, I can get it. I think Harish is back. Ratnabhargi sir, Harish is back on the screen.
Right.
What Dr. Brahmabhat has to say about this?
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Brahmabhat sir.
Very right. I agree with you that I must have an answer to this. But let me tell you, there is a white and black. And between there are lot many grays. And as I said beginning, that one thing is certain, that we are all in an uncertainty, not only in India, all over. Yesterday night I was reading two scientific papers. One from China says that it is coming in the semen even. The other said it won't come in the semen, from USA. So it is a small studies which has been done. Ideally during this period, go back to the old days. Start writing each other some romantic letters or other things. Fever or something has come, I would definitely advise that keep away. If at all you want to do, take a bath together with a soap and water, and with the thing that you do not see face to face, so that there is no kissing, no sort of a droplets or sort of an infection. And taking a bath can be a most pleasurable thing. Bombay, Shumi.
Praveen, you can mute
Harish is back actually, Kapil.
Yes, sir. We are login, sir.
Login, so we can take Harish.
please, Praveen, first mute everyone so that Harish Shetty sir is audible to everyone. Okay, so we are good.
Yes, immediately.
Kapil sir, unmute. Kapil sir,
everybody is mute now.
Harish Shetty sir is unmuted. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So
sorry about.
Harish Shetty sir, we are good to go. Please.
Yeah. And how many minutes do I have?
Sir, you can 15 minutes is definitely there. 15 minutes.
Sir, your voice is not.
Sir, your voice is little.
Can you hear me?
Very low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Extremely happy to be here. Extremely happy to hear Dr. Brahmabhat asking you all to have a bath together and all those things. And he has a way, and he has a He has an ability to get the science across very effectively, and he's extremely passionate about his subjects. Happy to be in the same frame as his. Let me tell you 5 things in the next 15 minutes, and that I think is very, very important. The first thing is Corona is there. Corona is there, and we cannot fight Corona. We have to live with Corona. Let us share that we have to live with Corona and not fight it at all. And that, I think, is one of the most important things I have learned across time. The only thing we can improve is improve our immunity, as Dr. Vasant always also must have said. We can only improve our immunity, and that's the and that, I think, is the goal for the next 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, etc. Now, 5 things for doctors. Number one is that let's understand that we are not in a very safe right place as of now. All of us are daily wage laborers, and we need to go back to our work at the earliest, or I think we'll be in deep shit. uh, Bombay has actually said that we are still under lockdown for 2 more weeks. So uncertainty, as Dr. Ramesh said, how to accept reality, and that is the first most important thing. Now, it's not easy to say accept reality. There are different ways of accepting reality. It is like saying I accept my mother and father because they are my mother and father. Easy to accept because it's innate love. It's not acquired love. Innate love is very easy to accept. I accept my children. Again, innate love. They are part of my flesh and blood, and it's so easy to accept. I accept my clinic, which I have made with my hard-earned money. Very easy to accept. I love the sofa which I bought. I love the table, and I'm very happy to sit in my own clinic and practice. That is something which is very easy to accept. I accept my spouse as he or she is. Maybe not very easy to accept because acquired love. Acquired love can go up and down on a fight, on a bad day, etc., etc. Now, uncertainty to acceptance. Uh, Reality can be defined in many ways for different people. But let's see what we can do now. As days pass, there are a lot of negative thoughts which we'll get. ये मेरे साथ ही क्यों हुआ, मेरा EMI अभी है चालू, वो फ्लैट का EMI अभी तक हुआ नहीं पूरा, my hospital's EMI is still on, my son's education's EMI is still on, and these are thoughts which might cut. Or I'm bored at home, I have hundreds of patients, I should go there and serve them, which is part of our life. Now, when you accept or unaccept, or there's a struggle inside happening between your mind and your body, there's a big struggle happening inside the mind, between the mind and the body, and there are a lot of sentences or conversations which happen inside. Many a time, if we ask ourselves, if we are on the airport at times, and suddenly if somebody says your plane is late, uh, the first thing what we do is some of us rush and argue and fight with the girl who's there on the counter without any reason, because the girl is not aware of what's happening. The the plane will come as and when it comes, because it's not in our hands. The captain will drive the plane at the same speed which is supposed to drive according to the DGCA. But what happens when we go and argue is mind goes into a turmoil, and the body slowly also acclimatizes, adjusts. It increases the heart rate. It breaks down a little more glycogen from the body, and it attempts to adapt. But when the mind goes into a turmoil again and again for issues which are small, and you ask why all the time, then remember the mind punches the body so hard that the body starts crying. And when the body starts crying, there are a lot of symptoms which we get. Now, the second group of people will not go and fight. They will sit down in the place and tell themselves the same things which the first group was saying, which means internally they will have a lot of anger, and anger continues till they board the flight, maybe after 2 hours, after 4 hours, after 6 hours, or after 8 hours. And that, I think, is also what happens. But this happens without any physical activity external, but internally it continues. The third group of people like you and me, we get upset and angry. We abuse the civil aviation, we abuse the airline, but slowly we calm down. Slowly we calm down, and we accept that this is it, and slowly we start making friends. we read a book, we go up and down, we can eat something and manage the time somehow. It is the same experiment which was conducted by a famous scientist in 1962, which has been quoted in the book Emotional Intelligence. What was the experiment then? There were 50 children, and they were told that they will get 2 marshmallows, say 2 chocolates in our language. If they're able to wait for 1 hour, if they want it immediately, they'll be given only one. So people like me chose, oh, aayega kabhi aayega, ek ghante ke baad kyun rukna, I'll take one and I'll go away. But there are others who waited, who distracted themselves continuously. They spoke to each other. They shared. They had fun. They did not look at the chocolate and waited for 1 hour. And then they were given those 2 chocolates. Those who waited, they were followed up. And those who took that 1 chocolate were followed up across life. And they found people who have patience to wait and accept reality that they would get 2 after they waited had better occupational lives, they had better family lives, and they had more successful professional lives. People who took 1 and just ran away, they had impulsivity, they had confrontation with the families, they had poor interpersonal lives, poor friendships, poor self-esteem. That is the goal as of now. So as of now, reality is you will have only 5-6 patients sitting in your massive clinic. You can't give more appointments. Reality is that our incomes will drop for some time, and incomes may not be the same. If you're lucky to have 50% of what you have been earning earlier, you are lucky. It is important to understand that you might not be able to go to a lot of restaurants. You might not be able to go to places which you have been earlier. You might not be able to have the same social life which you have had earlier. So accepting reality liberates us from anxiety and anger. And that is something which is very important. But accepting reality is a process. There's a lot of pain and hardship. For example, me, I see 100 patients a day along with 2 or 3, 2 psychiatrists, two psychologists in my clinic. 100, okay, 50 to 100 patients is what I see throughout the day. Now, I'll be able to see 30 patients only because all of them will not be able to sit in my clinic. My clinic has a sitting capacity of 30 people. I can only keep 9 to 10 people in my clinic. And that's what means that my practice will be 70% down. But I accept the reality. I have actively begun telephonic consultation. I'm very upset with this because you don't see the patient, you don't know what's happening, you can't see the expression, you can't hear expression, and really are handicapped. But the point is, I will learn slowly. Even when I sit in my clinic now, I put a mask. It's very difficult to understand and reach out. It's very difficult for us to really convey our compassion, but I'm practicing. So even if there's a struggle in my mind, I know that I'll be able to accept reality very soon. That's point number 1. Point number 2 is, can we change our reality? People have been saying, मैं बदल दूंगा, मुझे कुछ नहीं होगा, हमारे immune system बहुत अच्छा, मैं सब कुछ करूंगा जो मुझे करना चाहिए. That would be foolishness. You are not a Hindi movie actor of yesteryears who can bash up every villain on the earth. No, you're not. Third thing which is also important is, inside the house there'll be 4 things which are very common. You need to build patience for a very long time. You need to have cleanliness. And there's a beautiful research which has been done on rats, which was quoted in the recent articles of Psychology Today. And they said, if the outcome is good, the rats were prepared to wait, which means if the rats know that after waiting, if they'll get something good, the rats are prepared to wait. So that's a very important research. Now, the third thing which is important is handling elders and handling kids. Handling elders are not easy at all. And handling elders would mean first handling the idiosyncrasies of that age. And what are the common idiosyncrasies of that age? I have had a long experience of life. मुझे जिंदगी तुमसे अच्छा पता है. मुझे जो ठीक लगता है मैं करूंगा. मैं इतना ही खाऊंगा. मैं थोड़ा नीचे जाके आऊंगा. आपको ये मेरी बात सुनना पड़ेगा. The second is they might repeat things again and again. The third is they would want to know everything about the virus. I still remember this man who said, I would want to know everything about the virus. The family is not sharing all the information. I'm very anxious. What is very important to do with elderly is see that the medicines are taken. If they ask you, am I vulnerable? Say yes. But your immunity is good if your blood sugar is maintained, if your hypertension is well under control, and you eat right, and your immunity is good. But it's extremely important to also understand that they need information day in and day out. So they will watch news. Watching news is a mental health risk. And helping them understand the little new things which have been announced by the government is important. Some of them will ask you questions again and again. Some of them may have Alzheimer's. When you have Alzheimer's, sleep rhythm has been affected in my practice. A lot of patients with Alzheimer's are sleeping less because of increased anxiety. So there, what is important is if you are lucky, they should look at the sunshine. If they're lucky, they should be able to sit on the veranda if you have a veranda for fresh air. But in spite of there being Alzheimer's, don't underestimate the capacity to hear and remember. Let small kids, if you have in the house, go and chat, go and tell them what exactly they did throughout the day. If you're a doctor, sit down with your elderly parent or your mother-in-law or anybody older in the family and tell them what you did across the day. And that's very important. As far as kids are concerned, kids adapt much faster than adults. Simplest minds are the most profound. And also remember, handling teenagers and handling kids under 8, under 10 are different. Handling teenagers, what is very important is that let them have enough freedom to talk to their friends, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, or ex-boyfriends, and even ex-girlfriends. Have them playing games on the mobile. Nothing wrong about it, but see to it that they eat with you. See to it that they sleep on time. See to it that they eat healthy stuff. And please ask them not to get any Swiggy stuff from outside. And as somebody said in the morning, that the person who's coming from the Swiggy bank may be infected, and the food may be very clean. Lastly, I think we will not get the vaccine in the next 6 months or even 1 year. I would say Dr. Vasant would know much better, but no vaccines. The only thing we can do is improve our immunity. And to improve our immunity, we need to have 4-course meal, which is important. And yoga no longer is a generic advice. Yoga is an advice from a specialist like me, because there is enough evidence to say that it has an impact on the amygdala, it has an impact on the hippocampus, it has an impact on the limbic system, evidence, and it has an impact on the prefrontal cortex in terms of you making a decision, etc., etc. So yoga is a must, whether you like it or not. Sit down and breathe slowly from your nostrils for at least 15 minutes to half an hour. A lot of people are very find it very difficult to exercise, and they would want to go to the gym all the time. There's no gym now, okay? And even if you have a small house, you can walk up and down. I have a small house, and I walk 10,000 feet inside my house, 10,000 feet every day. I'm going to start immediately after the talk. And when you exercise and you do yoga, you're managing the sympathetic nervous system, the balance between the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. You're also managing the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal system. It also helps. You also help the hypothalamus release substances which improves your immunity. It will not bring down your immunity. At the same time, you're not trying to bring down your sugar by exercising. Sugar and blood pressure would actually be helped. The insulin resistance is also something which can change. But what you are doing is building the alignment with the mind and the body, and stopping the mind from punching the body. Lastly, doctors have a busy life. This hospital, that hospital, our clinic, practice till late. And in this entire practice, what has happened is that our mind has been covered by a lot of dust, which means our mind, there's no time to breathe, there's no time for unashamed conversation, there's no time for candor, and there's no time to talk to the sunlight. Compassion is something which is the fourth ingredient and the fourth part of the high course meal. Pick up your friends and talk to your old friends whom you have never talked before. And pick up your phones and talk to your neighboring doctor, your competitor, as people sometimes describe. अरे यार आज practice क्या है? Good यार practice कुछ नहीं. You talk to people whom you have not talked for ages, and that I think would be the best option in the lockdown. With this I stop, and I would say that the world has changed overnight. And people who adapt will succeed. People who complain and blame the world will fail. Boomers will succeed, blamers will fail, and people who would slowly accept reality, which is a struggle, which is really a struggle. When I pass through some of my famous restaurants, I feel like going inside, but I accept that this is something I cannot do. And accepting reality is a struggle, but when you accept reality reasonably, you are completely liberated. My dear friends, thank you for the invite. And remember that all your chats at home, as Dr. Brahmabhat said, all your baths which you have been having will be converted into stories. Your children will tell their children and their grandchildren that mummy and papa used to have baths a little more often together during the time of the pandemic. And a lot of activities which you did, which has really built the resilience of the elderly and the children, will be shared across generations. Let us be remembered as people who survived the pandemic, and not only survived, but survived effectively through the entire exercise of evolving our soul, building our hearts, and building our lives all over again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Harish.
Yeah.
Harish sir.
Yes, sir.
Harish sir, by mistakenly you have become host. So just going to participant, just make me host if you can.
See, I manage participants. And who are you and how to make it?
Praveen, the name is
Praveen.
How to do it? How to do it?
Praveen.
Just click on
Just
that.
click on the name. Just click on the name and make a host.
On whose name I should click?
Praveen Gupta.
Praveen Gupta. Mrugangsha Praveen Gupta. Praveen. तो क्या करे यार, तुम लोगों ने वो कुछ मैं ओपन किया, वो ओपन नहीं हुआ. ओके, प्रवीण गुप्ता को अभी क्लिक किया मैंने. अभी क्या करूं उसको?
मेक अ होस्ट
बनाओ.
या सर.
इनवाइट, म्यूट ऑल, मोर. क्या कहाँ है होस्ट का? किधर?
सर मोर में ऑप्शन में.
मोर में है. मोर.
ये दिल मांगे मोर.
Talk meeting, play, allow participants, mute participant, enable waiting room. Lock meeting आता है, play, allow participants, enable waiting room, mute participant. यहाँ तो कुछ नहीं है यार.
So anyway, let us continue then.
Okay.
तो ठीक है, एक रिक्वेस्ट है, मीटिंग खत्म होने तक जस्ट रहो, क्योंकि आप पढ़ कर दे तो मीटिंग क्लोज हो जाएगी.
You stay, sir, 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, please.
You stay for 5-10 minutes, sir.
Okay, Harish sir. So now there are some, that was wonderful talk. So once again, thank you for that wonderful talk. Now there are some very clinical relevant some questions which are coming on our daily basis, and maybe Dr. Ratnaparki sir and Dargad sir will also agree to me. There are a lot of patients who come to us with that fear and with that panic of मेरे को corona है क्या? They get palpitation, they get some panic attack, they have lost their sleep and everything. A lot of them are comorbid. So what will be the line of approach, or do you treat them as a normal in a way before lockdown kind of a patient, or you add something more to them this lockdown period?
There are two things which you need to understand. One is separating fear from panic, and separating anxiety and agitation. There are two things. Now, how to separate fear from panic? That the other day, a wife did what Brahmabhat wanted her to do. She started cuddling. In Marathi, it is known as Kuruvalne. And she told her husband, "Mala vatte ki mi marnar." Husband, instead of doing something else, he jumped out from the bed and phoned me up at midnight. Baiko mante की तिला मरायचं आहे. See, he said, मी मरणार असं मला वाटतंय. The husband interpreted as मला मरायची आहे, and he phoned me up. I said, please give the phone to the wife. And I said, काय झालं तुला आता 12 वाजता रात्री? नाही, मला असं केव्हा वाटते की एवढे लोक मरतायत, माझा पण जीव जाणार असं वाटते. As how often have you felt this? He said, very occasionally. This is fear. This is expression of a concern which can be expressed by children, adults, elderly, and people of all genders. This is not anxiety. Okay. Then I had to say that the mortality rate is 3.6%, and it's only among people who have a high comorbid condition. And again, you are not infected, so you will be safe. So after some time, she was all right. Now there was this another man, 38-year-old man. He said, "Mala corona झालाय, मला test करा." And before the new guideline came, he was tested thrice and insisted for being hospitalized. So he has corona fear or corona phobia. All advice, all counseling, he said, "No, I believe I get palpitations, I get I get severe chest pain, I can't sleep." You have to knock him down with benzodiazepine in a high dose and slowly bring him back to normal. I think that is something which is very, very important, and treating the panic attack is important. Now, if you have had a past history of a panic attack, then you might give SSRIs and treat him for a particular period of time. So you have to differentiate fear from anxiety. If you have clear-cut panic attack, which is frequent, please treat the panic attack. The second most important thing is, some people, some of them have come with delusions. Mala coronavirus diste. Mala coronavirus diste. And there you need to give a small dose of antipsychotics, calm the person down, a lot of counseling, and then they slowly get healed. If they have a clear-cut episode of psychosis, then you need to give antipsychotics for 4 weeks. The fourth is you differentiate anxiety from agitation, which means मला भीती वाटते सध्या, मला काहीतरी होईल असं वाटते. And agitation, मुझे बेचैनी होता है, मुझे लगता है मैं कुछ करूं. Anxiety with agitation, you need to really differentiate. Anxiety has to be treated gently with SSRIs or benzodiazepine. Agitation has to be treated with a good dose of SSRIs, tricyclics, and or with benzodiazepine. And agitation should be treated as an episode of depression. Be careful. People who are agitated can kill themselves or hurt somebody else. And this lady said, "Corona से मैं क्यों मरूं? उसके पहले मैं गया तो क्या नुकसान है?" वो ऐसे तो सब लोग यहाँ से जाने वाले हैं. Amitriptyline in a good dose brought down our agitation. It's important to differentiate anxiety. Lastly, all those who are on treatment for psychiatric illnesses, please keep it up. Sleep is going down. See that the sleep is affected. See that they're comforted and comforted. Thank you.
Harish, I wanted to ask you one question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
You said about the first case, you know, you talked about the patient, but what happened to you after waking up at night? That I would like to know.
What happened? I was very irritable. I was very angry. Salah.
Now, next time you call.
When I calmed myself down, because he's an old patient of mine. He has been with me his family was with me for the last 25 years. And always, you understand, sir, our loyalty, we attempt to be equal to everybody, but our loyalty generally is to people who have had complete faith in you and who have been with you for the last 25 years. थोड़े टाइम गुस्सा आया, फिर शांत किया, फिर जाके मैंने औरत को बोला, ये क्या साला अपने को रात को हैरान करता है.
Next time you call me up, you know, and we will have satsang at that time. I would love to have that. We can have a good.
Harish, I think this is an interesting talk from you. I think one other important thing, people who are in ICU do develop a lot of delirium status actually. Because this same next bed person has died yesterday. He is there seeing the patient very bad. Somebody is on ventilator. The patient ICU, the delirium type of thing. What drugs you will advise them? What how to manage? Even Vasant also must be seeing this patient developing delirium type of thing.
Is more experienced, but I would want to share the experiences in a quarantine place where a lot of oxygen and pulse oximeter was not there. Patient was doing fine, and suddenly he died. Suddenly he dropped dead. The other day, an inspector from New Bombay suddenly dropped dead for whatever reason, and that's very true. I think all these incidents did happen much before Corona, and our ICU environment is not a very healthy environment. Ramesh, is you know how people in ICU talk. Bed number 8, Gela. And bed number 9 says, "Sala, meri fatti hai." So what they talk inside the ICU is extremely important. But in a Corona phase, all the ICU doctors are very stretched. There's no time to talk, and we need to understand that our entire ICU environment has to change in the next few years. what is very important is in the older times, people can come and meet their family members who are in ICU, but in Corona, you can't meet the family members at all. And I think it's a very painful process. And I think we need to understand, and also the doctors, the Corona warriors are blamed that they don't take such a detailed round which they used to take earlier when they would see all patients. 85-year-old woman said they are not speaking to me anymore. एक बार ऐसा देखा और भाग गया. And when I did some work with my RMOs who work in the Corona ward, they said the patients run to the place where the doctors and nurses are there, so that they want to talk. We are not achut. We are not untouchables. Please speak to us. And nurses would abscond from the place, and the doctors would sit down and have a chat. There's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of loneliness in that entire environment. I think time will help us to acclimatize ourselves and see to it that we are as gentle, as compassionate with the patient. When the fear of the virus will slowly go down, the number of deaths will go down, compassion will increase. When the number of deaths will go down, fear will go away.
Dr. I think Harish, other thing actually, I think Nagvekar can add to that.
Vasant bhai, yes.
So I think we give some sedation, the intensivists, I think they give Dexam or something when these people, in fact, one of the patients was desaturated to 80 in spite of remaining on the NIV. I think after giving Dexam, that is some sedation, his saturation became 98. So I think that anxiety and ICU psychosis is there. I wanted one question to Dr. Harish, if you don't mind.
Yes,
Harish,
sir.
can I ask one question?
Please, Vasant. Yeah.
So,
in fact, your friend was with us in the morning.
Shashank, I was there with Daksha. Yeah, right. So my question to you is, this building lockdowns, one family in a tower is positive and the BMC comes and does the lockdown. You know how the building people, they relate him as a criminal. They behave so notoriously. They start sending messages. People keep calling, and it is very psychologically disturbing. So I just want some comments from you. How does?
I think there are three issues in every community. You have altruists, and altruists are those who in such very difficult times they want to reach out to these people. Every person in the building is not an altruist. The second group would be skeptics कि अपने को इसके पास 1 माइल से दूर से जाना है, and the third group would be very hostile. But so it is very important at that point of time. We had this question in the morning that encourage the altruist to be in touch. If the secretary and the president in the WhatsApp groups of the building, the WhatsApp groups of the building are the most important groups of healing people. And I would say the MCGM or you, Vasant, you are part of the task force, should organize a Zoom training program for the secretary and the president, where in the WhatsApp groups we can send healing messages to the person who's unwell, saying we are there with you, but we can't be with you. You may understand, but please SMS as and when you need something. That one important message will change the entire process. So I would say train the secretaries and the presidents how to use communication in the most difficult times to soothe the hearts and the souls of those who are unwell. Number two, there was a doctor in one area in Villeparle who used to practice in a building which was locked. So when he used to come back home, the building people said, either you stop your practice or don't come home. And I tried to speak to them, and they would not actually listen. Then I had to call the Parla police station in charge, and the Parla police station people got these guys around. So when you have delinquents, you need deterrence. But overall, I think MCGM should have a Zoom meeting with a lot of secretaries and presidents and train them how to use communication to build compassion. And lastly, when deaths will go down, fear will come down. And these things have been seen in the past events also, in the past disasters also, where I've worked, where people were very hostile and angry at some, and that is something which is seen in every disaster. Thanks for the beautiful question, Vasant. You are doing excellent work at Vasant, and you also take rounds every day of all those patients, and you give very critical advice. to all the doctors. I sincerely would congratulate you for all the good work you're doing.
Thanks, Harish. Thank you.
Vasant, one question to you. You are the
Yeah.
part of the task force of the BMC.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of patients.
Of the state.
State level. And there are a lot of patients who have classical CT positive, X-ray positive, history of fever. They only lack a corona report was still awaited. And these people are denied admission in the public hospital or the private hospital, anywhere in the corona ward. They have a classical CT picture, classical X-ray picture, and all history of fever, slight saturation low. Only they are lacking the corona certificate. And when the patient are denied the admission, so there should be something, a suspect COVID provision in every COVID hospital. There are very strong suspicion. I think these people are moving around here and there and then become serious and then they'll end up in the hospital. By the time the mortality will go up. I think your task force suggestion, some beds should be reserved for the highly suspect COVID patient. So this difficulty facing, patient takes 2 days to get the report.
Yeah. So
by the time and he gets.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, I've raised this issue at least 3 weeks back. Forget about the suspect. I raised the issue, non-COVID deaths more than COVID. Is it time to address them? So that was a question around 3 weeks back. And the same question, what you said yesterday itself, I put it to the task force, that any patient, forget about CT, forget about the report, any patient who comes to the hospital, whether the CT finding is there or not, if he requires to be hospitalized, and if the beds are available in the hospital, if the hospital doesn't give that patient, because these patients are being put out like a football, from this hospital to that hospital, and patients die in the ambulance.
They spend a lot of time in ambulances and
they die in the ambulance. I'm telling you, forget about them. They die in the ambulance.
Ambulance.
So they're like football, from here to there. So I think they're going to come
tragic situation. I think.
Yes. So they're going to come up with solution that if any hospital having a bed, okay, ICU bed, and if refused, hello.
Yeah,
hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So if it's refused, I think then the hospital will be penalized. I think something of that sort is going to come up.
I think some legalization should come actually.
Dr. Dargad sir, this is a routine. Every day I spend only arranging beds. इधर से उधर किधर या hypoxic है. Dr. Kedar को phone करो, Dr. Ansari को phone करो. And patients are just roaming in the ambulances.
Correct. Ambulance. 6 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours in ambulance.
I fully agree with your sentiment.
The ambulance got infected and he died. One of my patients. And the old lady survived and his son was in 12 hours in the ambulance, got an infection and then he died actually.
I am with you, doctor.
Okay, so what?
Harish, one more question to Harish. Yeah. I think this, we don't know the long time complication of COVID, but there is one report has come that this virus affect the brain and it lead to long time psychosis. We don't know, you have not seen the cases because it's too short a time, we don't know. So you will be having a lot of patients now after the COVID. You're going to come out after the COVID era. Will be psychosis or what depression and what I don't know, Parkinson, which will be coming. The neurological and psychologist work will increase. Are you started getting some cases immediately after COVID recovery?
If you remember, my friend Ramesh, that post-viral psychosis was seen in the past. So influenza virus has caused psychosis in the past, and that is one evidence we have. The neurological evidence for COVID is not very big as of now, but there is a theoretical possibility. Time will tell, but I have seen psychosis because of WhatsApp group. When you read a WhatsApp and you believe that something is going to happen, and you read a rumor from a WhatsApp, people have had acute brief reactive psychosis. But I have yet to see any evidence to suggest that the COVID virus has caused psychosis. Thank you for the question.
Sir, Harish sir, one more question which has come up in the chat box is that a lot of people are actually working from home. So a lot of young guys and a lot of other people are working from home, and probably they will work for a longer time also from the home. So their sleep pattern is getting very disturbed because they are working for very odd hours and everything. So what is the best remedy, or how you do address this kind of disturbances and this
very important. Number one is see that your back is erect when you sit in front of the laptop. That is number one. Your back has to be erect. The number two is take a break every hour and do a little muscle inside out. You can go into the kitchen and smooch your wife, or you can go up and down and play with your kids, or you can dance, you can crack a joke and have a very healthy break every hour. Number three is that corporates are giving more work to the employees because they feel घर में बैठ के साला ऐश करता है, फिर तो सैलरी चाहिए और काम कर. You do as much as you can. Tell your employer that I can do so much, I can't do anything more, and believe in yourself. How will you believe in yourself? Protect your brain, build immunity to an extent that you know that if these guys throw you out of the job, you will find one, because your visiting card, the name alone is the only thing which is permanent. Everything else can change. This is the third thing. Fourth, if you have any trouble in your work, please tell your boss that I don't understand this. Please help me to understand this much better. My son works from home. He has to handle a team of 8 people. He gets extremely irritated because he has to speak to each one separately. If he was in his office, he would have talked to all of them together. And so I told him that talk slowly, talk gently, and take repeated breaks. In the repeated breaks, you can do micro pranayam for 5 minutes. You can do micro exercise. Just walk up and down the room for 5 minutes. You can listen to a song. You can dance on a song. And you can do anything which makes you feel nice. Do stupid things, but that will make you feel nice. Apart from that, what is important is you'll be scared that your salary is cut. Try to hold on to a job as much as you can. You'll be scared that you have an EMI. But if you continuously believe in your brain and your mind, and you are protecting your mind and your heart by yoga, exercise, sleep, and compassion, and you will not starve on this earth. At the same time, when the salary is cut, I have stopped eating mangoes. I eat plantains. No pomfret. So I try and get some mandeli if I can. So as Harish Salve said, living is not expensive. Lifestyle is expensive. Cut down your lifestyle and accept a minimalistic lifestyle, and that I think is very important. But don't sit glued on the chair in front of the laptop. You will get depression, anxiety, headache, and so many other things. Walk up and down and do so many other things which is important. Thank you for the question.
Yeah. So one more question for Dr. Brahma Bhatt, sir. So the question has come. Sir, can you unmute yourself, Brahma Bhatt, sir? Yeah. So yeah, the question was that ki, what you expect this post lockdown or once it is over, because a lot of strained relationship which has happened, and there are a lot of sexual problem which are going to, some people are expressing for the first time, and these people want to have some consolation and everything. So what is your advice to the young married guys which have just come up, or they have just been married and they have been into this lockdown, and maybe older one, because there is one question in the chat box. A lot of post-menopausal women have got this problem of this sexual arousal and everything during this lockdown, and probably anyways that also. So what is your advice to that, to these two questions?
Take one by one. Can you take the first one? First one, you said that lot of young people,
Yeah.
they are finding a problem, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you see me? Okay. So, young people, whenever they have a problem, the most secret part of the therapy is listening to them, number one. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you are audible.
There's a lot of noise coming up. That's why I was wondering. Okay, young people, whenever they come with, plenty of people will come with such problem. So what you have to do is give them a listening ear, number one. Second is the counseling has not been taught in our medical college. And I'm so surprised that the most important, thing is the counseling part. Once you talk to both of them separately, bring them together, and we have to teach them how to communicate. There is no communication between husband and wife. And if you remember, if you can do this, and as I said that whatever may be the sexual dysfunction, if it is a desire problem, if it can be an erection problem, it can be ejaculation problem, it can be orgasm problem, it can be vaginismus, it can be dyspareunia, it can be unconsummation of marriage, or it can be what they've been watching the porn and they feel they should become like a hero or superhero. That should be told to them that what you are watching in the porn is a different, and here you will be able to different. Once you can give this proper advice, there are plenty of things available as far as the pharmacotherapy is concerned. As far as the Harish will agree with me that what we need is supportive psychotherapy, sex therapy, pharmacotherapy, And the last but not least is a behavior modification. Once you put all this together, I can tell you 100% they will be all right. So number one, they should go to their family doctor and find it out where to go rather than searching on Google. Second question, very important. See, our menopause in our country, women has taken that is the end of their sex life. On the contrary, of the real sex life. I say the word menopause cut into me, no pause. From this time onwards, my fear of having reproductive thing is gone. So the recreation and relationship built up is more important. And unfortunately, in our country, there are always some gurus and some babas and some bhagwans are available. So they go into that spirituality. Husband goes into the other spirituality, taking a spiritual drink, and this is creating lot of marital disharmony. Secondly, if they are staying with a joint family, the children feel that they do not need a privacy. They think that they are asexual. So they will come and go on dumping their children or even their room, them how to knock it. And if you remember my first word I said, foreplay, foreplay, foreplay. After menopause, women requires much more foreplay. Same thing as the men requires much more local stimulation. Drugs available. There are lubrications which are available, which can apply to them. They do. They will feel more time. And my teacher used to say, man is like a light. The moment you switch on, light is there, and Stree is like a Stree. So if you remember our olden days, what our parents used to do, शाम को 5 बजे आके बोलेंगे ले कांता कांता मैं तेरे लिए फ्लावर लेके आया हूँ, वेणी लेके आया हूँ, और आज तेरा उपवास है तो दूधी का हलवा भी लाया है. So that was a indication that if you have inclination, I have a time, and that is much more important.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that answer, sir. So one more question for Dr. Harish Shetty, sir. There's one question which has come up in the chat box. Ki how good is the music therapy for all this anxiety and all this, maybe this quarantine and all this panic attack and everything. So how good it is, because I know you are a proponent for that also.
No, I think I need to use your word. All of us have mood lifters and mood shifters, which has evolved across time. Some of us will play joti, some of us will dance, some of us will read, some of us will paint, some of us will do exercise. So use your mood lifters and mood shifters. And if music helps you to calm down, please use it. Gentle music helps the heart rate to come down. Being part of the music, having karaoke also helps you to calm down. See, what is very important is meditation, yoga, exercise, sex.
Time যেটা তোমার যে slot এখন the 4 to 6 o'clock.
To get into a trance state. And when you get into a trance state,
আজকে দুটো সেমিনার ছিল, একটা দুপুরে একটা এখন এক্ষুনি শেষ হয়ে যাবে।
Your hypothalamus pituitary adrenal system is very good. So it's important for us.
Okay. I think
that music will help.
Okay, got it. So, Vasant sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So today there was a news in the newspaper that BMC is coming with 2,500 beds. So can you just throw light on that? Ki how it is going to work and where we can send our patients?
So I think what they are talking about is these beds will be more for quarantining people in the MMRDA BKC ground, the Wankhede Stadium, and the I think NSC ground, which is the highway what we see. So it's more for quarantine. But my major question is that people are not getting ICU beds, and I've raised this concern because people quarantine तो ठीक है, घर पे भी quarantine है, कोई कुछ होने वाला नहीं, but people are dying because of hypoxemia or not getting beds. So that's my major concern, which but I'll tell you.
But I think Vasant, today they thought 80% of the private hospital beds should be reserved. I think the some circular is coming.
But anyway, I think the task force job is to more having medical suggestions, the newer therapies, the newer guidelines and all that. There are a lot of other people, a lot of other people looking into this. But I think what Kapil asked me is, I think these are the beds more for quarantine, and I think they are adding beds in other places. And I think maybe if because see, we are functioning. If you see all the hospitals, major hospitals, we are functioning at 30% capacity, 30 to 40% capacity, or maybe lesser than that.
30%.
So we can't say that our healthcare is in crisis unless we open 100% of our beds.
Okay.
Do you agree, Dr.
Yeah.
So only when we open our 100% of the ICU beds, then only we can say that the healthcare crisis is there. We are functioning with 20-30% capacity. We can't say we have healthcare crisis now.
Okay. One more question.
I think the major challenge is to get the nursing staff and the doctors for these beds. That's going to be a real challenge.
Yeah, I think the government is working towards this, and they're trying their best, and I'm sure they'll come up with something.
Okay.
I think ESIC hospitals are not yet taken in by COVID, and also JJ hospital has been spared. So
Harish, this I already this has been Daksha को मैंने बहुत पहले बता दिया ये कि ESIC and all that, there are multiple hospitals, whether they can pitch in on that.
There are 6 hospitals.
Okay, one more question to Vasant sir. Are we ready with the antibody test?
No, so antibody test is as I said in my talk, the IgM starts coming positive only after day 7 and it peaks at day 14. So for primary testing, that acute setting, it is going to be the RT-PCR only. I think the expert Carba test, which is available, the same machine, they have come up with a Zephyr test, which the turnaround time is 45 minutes. So if you want a patient to be taken for surgery, now the number of kits which are available are very less. But this Zephyr, now they are giving only 20 kits per week to the these labs. So I think when the number of kits start increasing, so if you have a patient for surgery, you can call him in the morning, say that go and do the test, and the patient can come back within 2-3 hours with the report saying negative. Coming to your point about antibody test, it is not available as of now, but hopefully in a week's time we should be having the antibody test available also, which will be more to know how many people have suffered and how many of us, especially all the doctors and staff nurses, I think we should get our antibody test, because all of us may be asymptomatic carriers and possibly suffered in the last 2 months' time.
Yeah, and maybe it might be important for that convalescent plasma also, once, because they say you should be 20 days after infection, then your plasma is ready basically. So that might be the one of the advantages.
And one more important, Dr. Harish's answer I'll take. A lot of these societies, now they are saying that we will not allow any housekeeping people or maids to be coming into the society unless the family and COVID नहीं, तो best is I think उनका because majority of the people coming in the heartland areas ना, so उनका antibody test कर लो, positive आ गया तो they are free to work in the house, in the society also.
I think there is a license, an immune passport for that.
Immune passport. Okay. I think we are done for the day. Any last comment from Chairperson Dargat sir and Ratnaparki sir, or any relevant question? Otherwise we are good to close. Sir, Dargat sir and Ratnaparki sir.
Thank you, Kapil. I think.
Kapil sir, there is one question in the chat box. Many cases are coming with mild fever and report of low platelet count. Are you getting COVID patient with low platelet?
Yeah, that we have already answered. But just one very important and very interesting question to Vasant sir actually. How do you think arsenic is going to work? BMC has started
arsenic alba. You should say arsenic alba. It's not arsenic.
Arsenic alba. Yeah, arsenic alba 30. Yeah. So
arsenic alba. Arsenic album.
Yeah, so I think the Bombay Municipal Corporation also has stamped on this, and I've spoken to a lot of my homeopathic friends, and they have a lot of confidence in the prophylaxis. It increases the immunity, and possibly will, as Dr. Harish said, most important is to build up your immunity. So I think this drug has something to do with the immunity and not the cure. So it will help. Possibly that is what they say. I'm from your same branch. I have no idea about this.
It has some hepatotoxicity.
Can I ask you one question, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Last question, yeah.
I have one patient who is COVID positive and admitted in Nanavati Hospital. And 2 days later, his mother expired because of COVID only. I admitted in trauma hospital. Now there are 5 members in the house, and they all want to get tested for COVID. SRL is asking for a form to be filled online, in which there is a fine print that if it is not according to ICMR guidelines, the doctor will lose his registration. Now, what kind of condition is that?
Vasant
So
sir,
I think, So I think for the guidelines are very clear now for close contacts also asymptomatic household contacts. I think household contacts are completely asymptomatic. You don't.
Symptomatic. She is having cough with sputum with black colored material in the sputum.
No, so then this person definitely requires to be tested and examined also in the medical care center. Those who are symptomatic require to be tested. Those who are not symptomatic need not be tested, but they require to be quarantined for 14 days. As far as it comes to healthcare worker, I think day 7 you test, and if negative, you can join back.
Kapil.
Hello.
Kapil sir.
Dargat sir, now last comment and then we are good to close.
Achha. Thank you, Kapil. I think well conducted. I think we had really interesting data from both all the Vasant sir, Brahmat sir, and Harish, who joined it late. But I think we'll give a lot of insight. This part was not discussed in our previous meeting. I think that's why I thought we will keep until a more practical thing, how we go ahead, how we'll face these things, and how we'll go back to our work slowly. So I think thanks to all the speakers, actually, especially, and Dr. Ratnaparke and Kapil, you are conducting the meeting. So Harish, myself, friend, actually had a very short notice, done a very good job and help us all. And Nagvekar has been in the task force, so he has given his practical. And Brahmat has told us about the sexual life, which has always been not discussed in the very profound way, and we discussed today. So thanks to all of you. And I'll tell Ratnaparke sir to give the final comment, and then we'll stop this. Actually.
Yes, sir. Ratnaparke sir.
Two things I want to highlight. First thing, all fevers are not COVID fevers. Right? So there are so many calls from my relatives, from my patients, from my staff. Sir, हमको fever आया, एक दिन हो गया. They are so afraid, so afraid. So just calm them. Whatever fear is there, you have to just remove that fear. That is because all fevers are not COVID fever, right? So they are so afraid, so we have to take out of fever. One thing. Secondly, insomnia is very common problem. Most of our doctors also not getting the sleep. Okay, so when they call us, say, "Oh, मुझे भी नींद नहीं आती है." Is a part of this particular situation. Yeah, you have to say that, okay, this is happening very routinely for everybody. So calming and removing the fever is a basic treatment. Okay, fever is okay. That 80% goes without treatment, 20% requires some attention, 2-3% mortality is a routine fever. Okay, but psychological aspect and convincing them is not COVID is very important. So this part we have to take care of. All the doctors who are treating, we should have this psychosomatic, this psychological touch also. Okay, this is minor, मुझे भी हो रहा है, tension मत ले, like that. We have to in a convincing role. So thank you, Harish, Vasant Nagvekar, and Dr. Brahmapat for sharing the dais and giving good insights. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So
Praveen, last word.
Yeah. So let me thank on behalf of Andheri Parla Physician Association to Vasant Nagvekar.
Kapil, before saying thanks, next, what is the next program? Any program is in pipeline?
We are not yet decided, but we are planning.
Yeah, how to start our clinic back? I think that
one or two companies are behind me, either on hypertension or on lipids. So I will direct them to you. We will arrange one, because COVID saturated हो गया अभी थोड़ा सा hypertension, diabetes और सब बाकी चीज भी थोड़ा ध्यान में रखते हैं ना.
Yeah, that definitely we will plan, sir. We will talk and then we will decide that about that. So before concluding, let me once again thank to Dr. Vasant Nagvekar sir for taking out time from his busy schedule, Dr. Brahmapat sir for that very quick invitation and accepting it, and obviously Harish Shetty sir for that brilliant talk. So once again I thank on behalf of Andheri Parla Physician Association. I thank to my chairperson Dargat sir and Ratnaparke sir, and obviously not but the least Torrent for always standing behind us and giving all the technical support. So once again thank everyone.
Thanks Torrent.
Praveen,
Thank you, sir.
Vasant, how are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to make one comment.
Yeah.
See, I may not be very active on the physicians forum group, but I'm always with all the upper, and if anybody has any doubts or any treatment or anything on the patient, please pick up your phone and call me 24 into
Yes.
7. And
Thank you so much. So nice of you.
Even for this meeting also, Vasant has said yes within 1 minute. As soon as, although he was quite busy, 3 to 4, he was having another webinar, but still he said, "Oh, I will join, no problem."
Ratna,
Vasant, thank you.
same thing with me. You know, you can ask and you can.
To be बादल है कुछ पल का आकर चले जाना है. Chalo, thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. So I conclude the meeting. Thank you, everyone. Yeah. Be safe. Stay safe. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Thank you, sir.